The Secret Invasion is finally coming to a finale. It turns out the Skrulls have been waiting for years and have been taking the place of many of our heroes. What this means is that friends and family don't know who is who. Reed Richards has been kidnapped, and most of our superheroes were dragged into the Savage Land where they fought against the Skrulls that looked like their allies. The entire world began to defend itself from an invasion led by Nick Fury. This is Comicstorian. I take 1 to 3 comics and make an audio drama called The Complete Story. I then combine all of those videos into one enormous full story. We make these videos to allow you to keep up with your favorite storylines, and you can add them to your collection at your local comic book store or at your digital retailer. Now let's get into the finale of Secret Invasion. Norvar, also known as Marvel Boy, sees something falling out of the stars. He steers his shield bike over to the destruction and is shocked to see Mar-Vell pull himself out of the wreckage. Norvar helps the Kree warrior. The Skrull Empire! They have taken Earth. You can't let this happen, Mar-Vell gasps as he falls to the ground, and Norvar isn't sure what's happening. Mar-Vell tells him that the Skrull have no honor and will do anything to win. They don't understand the true honor of these people or the Kree. I've learned much being Mar-Vell. I have learned so much. I cannot let this happen. You are here for a reason. He gasps before dying. Norvar is shocked as Mar-Vell shifts into a Skrull before his eyes. Across the planet, the Skrull have taken control. Heroes still offer a resistance, but the Skrull are proving triumphant. Camp Hammond, the Skrull Hank Pym is receiving reports of the remaining superhero population. Some of the Skrulls seem nervous, but he orders them to calm down. Every world the Empire has liberated has gone just as this. This is true, Jessica Drew says as she walks into the room, and he nods at her. Empress, he says, and Jessica tells them that the remaining heroes have been gathered by Reed Richards. We would imagine that they're heading here now, she says, looking at Hank. You have done amazing work, Noel. He thanks her and questions whether Janet Van Dyne is still with the Avengers. She is, Janet says, and Hank smiles. Then we win. Meanwhile, Brand steers the Skrull ship towards New York City. The back is loaded with dozens of heroes. So anyone in the mood to hit at Denny's on the way home? Spider-Man calls out, but the group ignores him. Discussion about how Jessica Drew has been a Skrull and for how long and who else may have been taken is what's going on. But the talk is interrupted as they near the city, shocked by the destruction that the Skrulls have caused in such a short amount of time. The Skrull attack ships are still hovering over the city. Below, the police are trying to help clean things up, with the actual attacks having already ended. They're shocked to find a group of college students with signs that welcome their new alien overlords, believing that the Skrull will help usher in a new era of paradise for the Earth. We've been saved, heroes! You're out of a job! Because utopia means that the fascist stick goes away. The citizens shout at the cops who have asked them to disperse, but they are shocked as one of the massive Skrulls stalk forward. The citizens erupting into panic as the Skrull don't understand them. What might have been a misunderstanding suddenly becomes a battle between the cops and the Skrulls, and in a blink of an eye, Nick Fury and his secret warriors appear. Go, go, go! He shouts to the team, opening fire with his massive gun. Hit them hard, commandos, and stay in my eye line. He orders to his team as the battle begins, and in a matter of moments, the fight ends, with Nick looking at the college students. You kids get back to the dorm, or better yet, get out of the city. But the kids refuse, calling Fury a fascist, telling him that the Skrulls are here to change the world. He sighs in frustration, turning back to his team. But they all look up as the lightning cracks and it smashes into the ground. Let's move, stay close and stay together, Fury tells them. Over in Central Park, Thor has landed hard, standing, glaring at another that has come to join the fight. Who are you supposed to be? He asks, and Bucky glares back, dressed as the new Captain America. Who do I look like? He asks, not backing down, and he stands tall as Thor steps up to him. You wear the uniform of Captain America, a true friend of mine, the greatest Avenger. But you aren't him, are you? Bucky nods. Weren't you dead? The rest of the heroes land in their ship, with Spider-Man asking Thor what he's doing there. Thor raises his hammer, more lightning cracking into the sky, summoning the battle that must be fought. He explains, and Spider-Man nods as the heroes turn to see the Skrull army advancing upon them. Yeah, I think they got the message, he says, and Jessica Drew, the Skrull Empress, is leading that army, Reed Richards glaring at her. You're not here to save us, it's all lies. You're here to punish us. She smiles at him. Well, you should have thought about that before you found it funny to turn our brothers into cows. she points out. Behind the Avengers, Norman Osborn arrives with his Thunderbolts and a group of New York supervillains also joining in. Leave now, last warning, Tony warns the Skrulls, and Spider-Man raises a hand. You guys know we still can't tell Skrulls are real people, right? What if we're hurting our friends? But Reed raises his weapon and explains that it will reveal the Skrulls' true forms. A fair as fight as we're gonna get, he tells them, and the Empress explains to them. Your hate is your own. Your judgment is your own. We are here to save you. We are here to change you. We are here because in spite of all that you have done for our empire, he loves you. Spider-Man raises his hand again. He who? Who are you saying loves us? God, she tells the heroes, and Fury shakes his hand. Yeah, well, my God has a hammer. Iron Man has had enough, and with the mighty Avengers Assemble, the heroes rush against the Skrull army for the final battle. With the Skrulls having been revealed, the heroes leap into battle. Battle cries ring out as energy blasts, weapons, feet, and fists all lash out at the alien invaders. Thor, Ares, Simon, take the front line, Tony shouts as he fires his energy beams. Hit Spider-Woman, Captain America shouts, and Tony turns to the new hero. Yeah, that too, he agrees. But the Skrulls rush into the fight with Spider-Woman shouting at her warriors. The target is Richards! He dies for the Empire! She commands, and Ares rushes forward with his axe, cleaving through the alien throng. Keep the battle moving forward, don't give up, he shouts, with Nick Fury continuing to fire his massive gun, suddenly turning back to back with Norman Osborn. Fury, Norman says simply. Norman, you're supposed to be in jail. Fury growls, and Norman merely smiles, firing another burst. So should you. The fight continues, a mad cluster of a battle which sees the heroes and the Skrulls locking into prolonged combat. And in the distance, Bullseye is taking aim and firing, the rounds piercing the eyes of Skrull Yellowjacket, who falls to the ground, squashing another group of Skrulls beneath him. Tony knows that his armor isn't at full strength and apologizes as he flies off to fix it. Do what you must, Thor cries before calling down a lightning strike upon his enemies. A group of Skrull Sue Storms attack Reed, stretching him out, clawing at him, and Fury fires his weapon, ordering his secret warriors to save Reed. Meanwhile, Wolverine is pushing through the fray, launching into combat with the Skrull Empress. He stabs her in the shoulder before she burns him with her energy powers, and he falls away. Meanwhile, Spidey flips, meeting Iron Fist in the battle. Hey, you know what? This ain't so bad, all things considered. These big Earthshakers, I've been around. You know you have to worry when Uatu shows up. Spidey explains, but both heroes glance up, and they see the Watcher staring down at the massive battle. Oh, come on! Spider-Man groans. Elsewhere in the city, Jessica Jones is watching the battle on the news, tears falling down her face. She glances at her child before looking at Jarvis, who stands beside her. Jarvis, I need to go help. Will you please look after Danielle? She asks, and Jarvis promises, with Jessica hugging her daughter before flying away. But in the distance, there's a boom far overhead as Fury glances up. Incoming! He shouts to the heroes as a massive explosion rips through the battlefield, tossing the heroes away and killing many of the Skrulls. The fire dims and Norvar steps forward. My name is Novar, and I am a warrior of the Kree. In the name of Captain Marvel, in the name of the Kree Empire, I tell the invading hordes that this fight is over. The heroes are renewed, and the battle reaches a fever pitch. A wounded Kate Bishop is carried away as Clint grabs her bow long enough to put an arrow through the Skrull Empress's jaw. The Skrull Yellowjacket is staggered to his feet, realizing that they are losing, and he holds up a remote, tapping a button. He loves us! He loves us all! He whispers. Elsewhere in the battlefield, Janet Van Dyne suddenly begins to gasp as her body spasms. She begins to grow massively, remembering that Hank had given her a new version of the Pym particles. A Hank that she now knows was actually a Skrull. And from the apartment, Jarvis, who is a Skrull, is now holding baby Danielle. See, child, this is why your people will have to submit. We came here willing to die so that God's will could be done. They just don't understand. He whispers to her, but it's the Watcher, Uatu, who looks sadly as Janet continues to grow. Energy exploding out of her, striking the surrounding heroes who all scream in pain. Janet falls, the energy waves still coming off of her, killing all of those around her. But it's Thor that steps forward, fighting against the energy that is killing him, spinning his hammer. "I will avenge thee, fair Janet!" he bellows, managing to contain the energy in a magical storm before Janet dies. As the Skrull Emperor struggles to her feet, she looks up, seeing Earth's mightiest heroes ready to end the fight, and they rush forward, Wolverine at the head of the pack. But as they get near her, an energy blast rings out and her head explodes. Everyone looks around in shock, and they all turn to see Norman Osborn standing nearby with a smoking rifle. The news choppers having caught the whole thing live. "Thunderbolts, make sure none of them weasel away. No loose ends," Norman calls to his team. The Skrulls have been defeated, with Tony ordering the rest of the heroes to head into the sky and defeat the remaining Skrull ships. "Keep the casualties light. I want prisoners," Tony tells them. Another craft breaks away from the Skrull fleet, falling to the earth. The rest of the heroes prepare to finish the battle as the ship opens, and they're shocked to see dozens of heroes walking off of the ship. Heroes that they now know were replaced by the Skrulls. The heroes greet each other, but it's Jessica Jones who realizes in shock what's going on. Her eyes go wide and she panics as she sees Jarvis. "Oh God, no!" she shouts, quickly leaping into the air, flying back to the apartment where she discovers that the Skrull Jarvis has disappeared. Luke Cage quickly arrives after being carried by Carol Danvers and runs to his wife. "They took the baby!" Jessica yells in fear. Back on the ship, Clint looks up as Bobby Morris steps off the ship and she walks up to him. "Oh my God, you look terrible," she tells him with a smile. "You look great," he tells her, from the Ronin costume. "What are you wearing?" she asks as they embrace and kiss. Now rejoined with his actual wife, Reed and Sue rush back to the Baxter building. They rush to the basement, hoping to shut down the energy going to the negative zone portal, but they discover that Johnny and Ben are arguing over the circuit panel while the kids are playing quietly nearby. "The blue one, you gotta hit the blue one first, I'm telling you, Johnny, I remember." Ben is grumbling as Johnny shakes his head and leans closer. "Why didn't Reed leave a manual?" he wonders. Reed steps in helping them, and the portal finally closes and the building suddenly begins to reform. It's later, after the battle has finally ended and the rebuilding has begun, that the president makes a statement to the people of America and the Earth. He thanks the heroes for stopping the invasion, though admits that S.H.I.E.L.D. was compromised and now must officially be shut down. He explains that a new organization must be put in place, one that won't repeat the mistakes of the past, one that will keep the planet safe. As America watches, the president calls to the stage the man that he has picked to lead the new initiative, Norman Osborn. Later in the Avengers Tower, Norman looks on in satisfaction at everything that he has accomplished. He finally puts down his glass of champagne and goes to a secret elevator. He rides it to a sub-basement, where he greets the secret cabal of evil. Dr. Doom, Loki, Emma Frost, the Hood, and Namor all look up as he leans over the table. "Thank you for meeting me. Okay, it's a new day, so listen carefully. This is how it's going to be," Norman explains to them. And that's the conclusion to Secret Invasion. Overall, I loved this story back in the day, and rereading through this, I feel it still holds up even without a lot of the context that goes behind it. But it is a classic Marvel storyline, and it makes me a little disappointed that the TV show isn't going this big with it. I feel what makes Secret Invasion so good is the superheroes having their own conflict, while Nick Fury is dealing with the actual invasion. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and we can chat about this anytime you want over at our Discord. Click that link also down below to come on over to our community. Thank you for your support. I'll see you next time right here.